Another of Teton County's iconic dude ranches with a splendid view has landed on the open market for the first time in more than 80 years. A man shot a gun multiple times inside a Rock Springs restaurant, and the Wyoming congressional delegation supports an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Bringing you these stories and more from Wyoming's largest news organization, I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily. Another of Teton County's iconic dude ranches with a splendid view has landed on the open market for the first time in more than 80 years. Cowboy State Daily's Renee Jean reported earlier this summer on the Lost Creek Ranch, which was listed for sale in July. Now the historic Grovant River Ranch is for sale with a price tag of $58 million.
For a price of $58 million, you can own an iconic view of the Tetons with the Grovant River running along the bottom of your view.
The Grovant River Ranch is surrounded on all sides by incredible, pristine views that are not likely to ever change until the mountains themselves change. And it's a working dude ranch ready to be a turnkey operation for its new owner. The owner of a Rock Springs restaurant described the chaotic and harrowing scene Saturday when a man who seemed troubled walked in, ordered, then sprayed the place with bullets. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that amazingly nobody was shot when 44-year-old James Chadwick Vickers walked into the Santa Fe Southwest Grill, agitated and delusional, then began firing rounds in the restaurant.
The co-owner, Corey Gardner, told a story of just amazing teamwork, getting people out of the restaurant. He was actually washing his hands when it started, and his son, who works in the restaurant, and his other top guy, Roberto, they couldn't find him. And so after they got everyone out, they came back for him.
Vickers tested positive for methamphetamine use and now faces federal charges for possessing a firearm as a felon. All three Republican members of Wyoming's congressional delegation told Cowboy State Daily on Tuesday they support House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's message to House Republicans to move ahead with an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. House Oversight Chair James Comer of Kentucky says he's gathered sufficient evidence of wrongdoing by the president to support an inquiry over his involvement in son Hunter Biden's potentially criminal foreign business activities. According to Cowboy State Daily's Leo Wolfson, Senators John Barrasso and Cynthia Lummis agree there are questions that still need to be answered.
U.S. Representative Harriet Hageman went the farthest and said the evidence found on Hunter Biden's laptop shows that the president knew of his family's influencing schemes, approved of them, and likely personally profited from them as well.
Democrats have not shown any interest in supporting the impeachment inquiry. I'll be back with more news right after this.
At Hilltop Bank, we understand that buying a home is a big decision. That's why we're here to be your trusted partner on the path to home ownership. Our experienced mortgage team will guide you every step of the way, from pre-approval to closing. We offer competitive rates and a wide variety of home loan options to best suit your needs. With our local knowledge and personalized service, you'll feel confident and comfortable throughout the entire home buying process. Contact us today to start your journey toward home ownership. Hilltop Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
A grizzly bear that had been foraging for food around settled areas in Park County near the base of Hart Mountain has been captured and killed by Wyoming Game and Fish Department agents. Outdoors reporter Mark Hines says when grizzlies or black bears show up in settled areas, Game and Fish tries to capture and relocate them to the wild as its first option. But this particular grizzly had become used to this residential area, so relocating it wasn't an option.
This was the very same grizzly bear that was in the Your Wyoming Sunrise photo on Monday. But unfortunately, Game and Fish had to capture and euthanize that grizzly because it was just too habituated to hanging around in settled areas.
Hines said that by the time the Sunrise photo was published Monday, the bear was already dead, having been euthanized the day before. And Owen Sinclair Jr. hasn't let Down syndrome or anything else get in the way of living his best life. Now, after a whirlwind weekend in New York City, the whole country knows this Northern Arapaho rock star who was featured on the Times Square Jumbotron on Saturday. Cowboy State Daily's Jake Nichols says he himself was inspired by the can-do attitude of the young man while writing the story.
And the whole time I'm writing this, I'm thinking, how have I not heard of him before? How have I never come across this guy? How dull has my life been in the dark, and how enriched is it now knowing who O.E. St. Clair is? I implore any curious person who needs a pick-me-up story to learn more about a Down syndrome guy from Ethity who's never met a stranger.
And that's today's news. If you're ready to unlock your daily dose of Wyoming, sign up for the Cowboy State Daily newsletter to stay in the know. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.